When you're ready,
Well,
mate.
Mr. BitLord, and welcome to the Crypto Insider interview.
G'day, guys. It's nice to be here. I'm looking forward to getting this done, mate. Have some fun and, talk about crypto. It's always exciting.
Oh, yes, especially in this bear market, which people seem to make very depressing and pessimistic.
Yeah, you know what? It's like a lot of look, you do get a lot of that from, that's market sentiment. Everybody's sort of putting themselves out there. We get some rough times and people do and say silly things, but also a lot of that is also just classic crypto shit posting. It's like, a lot of the guys that have been in it for a long time, we like to joke, we like to have some fun, and you get some real quality memes. You get some great cracking jokes come out of this time because, you need to continue having fun and continue having a laugh. And look, regardless of what's happening with the price, you've got to enjoy yourself. So a lot of people that come into the scene new, they get confused about, what's a classic shit post and what's actually somebody like, damn, this sucks. A lot of it is, a lot of it shit posting, and you just got to be aware of that.
So you have been around this space since 2012, is that right?
Yeah, 2012 is when I really got into it. And that's when I stopped. I just finished up my job in the oil and gas, and then it was just straight into crypto from there. And look, after that, I never looked back. It's been like that since. I probably had about a year and a half, nearly 2 years in total, where I started a food manufacturing business, and it destroyed me because it was away from what I really enjoyed doing. So it was like I was trying to do that part time and crypto part time. So I was trying to balance the two, but I guess that, my passion was always crypto. So, the best thing for me to do was to sell that and then be able to get back in crypto, complete dedication.
So you have seen quite a few market cycles, and this is not the first bear market that you're experiencing. But how do you compare this one to the previous one? It's
Oh,
definitely more
look,
brutal.
no. Anybody that says that wasn't around, or they don't know what they're talking about. Facts. Because the last bear market, through, we got a massive run into 2013, and then we got 2014, 2015. That was different. This bear run, look, this bear market, we know the crypto is going to be around. The government are regulating. We're getting more and more exchanges. Exchanges are hiring. We've got these big institutions, these big investment companies that are legitimizing the space. We've got the Securities Exchange Commission cracking down, cleaning up the space for the normies to come on board. Back then, we didn't even know if this shit was going to be around. We didn't even know this shit was fucking real. It felt like it was going to zero. We had everything that was going on with GOX. We had everything going on with Silk Road. We had China banning it and saying that it's over. You couldn't get money in and out of exchange. It was a massive clusterfuck. We did not know that it was going to be real. And then on top of that, at one stage, we had a consensus floor. So I was like, it only been around for a couple of years. You didn't know that it wasn't going to zero. You had this constant news articles saying that it's over, the bubbles pop. But back then we didn't know any better. So a lot of it, you'd look at it and you had to have some fucking strong balls. You really had to understand HODL. And that is a lot of it, when people say HODL, it's like, it works as long as you're not holding shit. So guys, like, these days, this bear market, it's fucking luxury. We're not going anywhere. We know it's not going anywhere. So it's pure bliss, mate. So, you just got to enjoy it. You just got to enjoy it.
But at the same time, there was so much more money that was being poured into cryptocurrencies during the bull market. And you had institutions which got in, and you had hedge funds. And now they're getting wrecked if they bought at a high price. So we also saw the closing of ETC Dev, which is one of the main developing teams of Ethereum Classic.
Yeah. Look, that's nothing. All it is like a bunch of guys that were around together, coding, like calling themselves like the ETC devs, relatively unorganized in my opinion. And then we've got, all of these other organizations like Input Output that's obviously run by Charles Hoskin, Charles Hoskin is an absolute genius in this space. He was involved in a lot of the early day stuff with Ethereum. Vitalik and Co largely robbed him for his input and for his work into Ethereum. And Ethereum wouldn't be what it was today without Charles Hoskin. Also, BitShares, Charles Hoskin was behind a lot of the code, the economics, a lot of the structure regarding BitShares for the early day. Absolute genius. Look at BitShares today. It's still around. It still holds USD, BTC peg. oh, sorry, the bid assets, the stable coins. And then he's gone along and he's created ADA. And this guy doesn't get enough recognition for what he does in the space. So look, he's taking custody over the ETC chain. Him and his team are developing on that. So I have no worry whatsoever. I mean, it's just some small shitty ETC dev team. Fuck knows what they are. They just obviously ran out of funding. And, they probably got offered more money somewhere else. They're probably applying for, all of these bigger exchanges and these startups that are hiring that have cash. So look, we're all in it for the tech until someone throws, 600K a year. So, let's be realistic.
Okay. So if anyone looks at your Twitter feed, they might think that you're pretty, what's the right word for it? Arrogant, and you
Awesome.
like to blast projects, and you just like to be bitter and sometimes what some other people call a fudster in regards to some projects.
Do you know what? It is what it is. And I see so much fucking crap in this space, and people want to get swept up and taken off into the moon and believe all this bullshit. Like, this is going to be the next big thing, or this is such and such. Mate, there was a period I was watching these guys, a lot of these influencers, I like to call themselves, they're paid by these companies to go ahead and produce this amazing, wonderful content. They suck a whole bunch of noobs into these shitcoin projects. Then obviously they're down, 85, 95%. And I'm just saying, look, it is what it is. This is what's going on. And then obviously these people are investing in these projects and saying, look, that's not going to pick up. That's not going to pick up. This is why, this is why, this is why. And people don't want to believe it. They don't want to believe the facts when they're put there. So, I'm not out there causing fight or anything like that. It's just facts. And people like to, it's bias. So if they're obviously in a position, they're in a loss, and I'm saying something that they would perceive to be bad about the project, they're going to say, oh, that's fine, because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to actually believe the reality. So look, I do a lot of the smart people that follow me, a lot of people that actually see what it is I'm saying when I'm talking about a project. Hey, look, I've saved a lot of guys a lot of money. So I just want to go ahead and say that, look, you really got to pay attention. And if you're seeing me say something like, fuck this, Bitcoin's going to zero tomorrow. Guys, obviously, Bitcoin isn't going to zero tomorrow. I'm just enjoying myself. I'm expressing myself with a classic shit post. And maybe a lot of the noobs see that and go, oh my God, this guy's like fighting this space. Like, what's going on? It's like, man, get the fuck out of it. It's not going to zero tomorrow. Chill out. Like, really get a grip of yourself. That's what it is. So, I guess that's my thoughts on the matter. But at the end of the day, man, like, people are going to talk shit about everything. It's like, suck a dick. I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want. Simple.
Do you have any ICOs that you consider that were worthy and were not scams?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, there's plenty of ICOs that weren't scams. I was involved in the second and third ICO crypto ever had, BitShares and Ethereum. The one that was before that was NXT. Now, there's been plenty over the years that haven't been scams, but majority of them have been scams and also unregistered securities. And that's something a lot of people don't want to talk about. Now, the Securities Exchange Commission have come out and said things like Ethereum are a security. They bypassed that stage where, these days it would be classified potentially as a security. But, obviously it's a legacy change. We didn't have a lot of rules and guidelines back then, so they just did what they did. And they're making the right decision in regards to that. They're protecting a lot of people with a lot of money. But now something like that would be regarded as an ICO and likely a illegal and unregistered security, which 99% of these things actually are. And, that's just the facts of it, mate. I mean, look, there's a lot of this stuff that actually, investors, you read the fine print of the ICO. This is what it says. You're donating your money. You understand and accept that you're donating your money, and you will receive these tokens that are effectively worthless. And you understand that you're giving your money to us. We're going to take it and do what we like. That's the fine print in an ICO, mate. That's how it is. A lot of people don't want to believe that. Obviously, they're still holding these shitcoin projects from late last year, early this year. And by the way, I was saying, look, ICOs are dead. ICOs are over during the bull market towards the end of last year, January, February, March, April, May. But, a lot of people wanted to come at me and say, look, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, or, he's causing FUD. But well, fuck, look at where we are today. We're in the exact position that I thought we'd be with these things. So it's like, well, facts are facts, mate.
So how do you position yourself in relation to the Bitcoin maximalist perspective?
Okay, first of all, tell me what's the Bitcoin maximalist perspective?
Well, it depends. You have many schools of thought. You have these people who read the paper which Vitalik wrote in 2013, I think, or 2014, and they just define themselves as people who believe that Bitcoin is the only project which should exist and which has a real use case or a purpose. So I guess that's one school of thought. But at the same time, there are also people who claim to be maximalists, but at the same time say that Monero is kind of cool.
Look, Monero is cool. It's a great project. But in regards to a lot of people that are saying they're maximalists, we got this thing where there was like a whole bunch of dick riders came into the space and they're like, I'm a Bitcoin maximalist. They tried to sell themselves off like that, to try sort of grab some sort of attention or think that they could be special like that. But they didn't know the fucking first thing about being a maximalist. Now, a lot of the other maximalists that are out there are actually mentally unstable. Quite a few of them are. I guess that's a trait that we get with these characters. We also get that a lot of that from the Ethereum subculture that's developed. I mean, have a look in Ethereum content. What's the word? Not concert. Actually, I think that is the word. A concert. They do these Ethereum meetups and these things that I see that look. It's like a hybrid. It's like a cross between BitConnect. BitConnect, like a stand-up TV show, and then some sick fucking shit that you see on at like 3 a.m. That's what a lot of these Ethereum things look out to be like. So look, mate, I guess what I'm saying is, there's very few real maximalists out there. I respect their opinion, but they are outdated. They are outdated, mate, because that way of thinking was maybe cool in 2012, 2013. But now there's a whole bunch of fantastic projects out there that are going to deliver the great things to the world, and you just can't be so narrow-minded in this modern day.
Okay, so right now I'm itching to ask this question. What is your view on XRP?
What's that?
What's your view on XRP?
All right, mate, XRP is fantastic. They're doing great things in the space. A lot of people, and this is what I'm talking about, people that think it's cool to be like a maximalist or something like that. A lot of people give XRP shit because they don't have the IQ to comprehend what is actually going on with XRP. What are they actually doing? They're very low IQ. They get triggered by the fact that XRP is centralized. It was pre-mined, and that's about as far as they can go when it comes to XRP. But you got to understand, XRP is transforming the world's banking system. They're doing great things. They're moving a lot of money. They're moving billions and billions of dollars. Actually, I think I just made that up. Yeah, I just made that up. I don't know what the figure is, but they're moving a lot of money. They're doing it very efficiently, and they have some very big banks on board. And look, I actually wrote a report on XRP a couple of years ago. It was a pretty good one, but now the scene has changed so much. But in regards to XRP being centralized, etc., mate, businesses, organizations need to be centralized. That's how the world works. That's how things operate. If you have every dumb fuck having an opinion on something, nothing's going to get done. That's why we've seen these big wars in Bitcoin Cash, and all those other shitcoin offsprings that Roger and his retarded fucking child Craig Wright made. So look, you've got to really what's the word for it, mate? What's the word for it? I don't know. I lost the word. But yeah, moving on. XRP is fantastic, and it's going to be around. It's going to be around for a while. Do I think it's something that you should be investing in? Maybe, maybe not. The company Ripple are doing fantastic things. How the token is going to be related to the success of the company, we're really waiting for some clear ruling from the Securities Exchange Commission regarding is it a fucking security or not. I don't know. I don't care. So. I guess we can move on.
Okay, let's move on to some Australian related questions, such as what do you think about the recent policies that were announced by the government to crack down on cryptography and everything that is encrypted so that they can have a key to every backdoor and encryption?
Yeah, look, I mean, these are sort of like, the people that make these laws are the sort of guys that They don't. They're not exactly. Look, I've got a lot of mean things going through my head right now. I'm just trying to like process that and put it into like something that makes sense. Basically, these guys that are making these laws, that are coming up with these things, they're not exactly the brightest sparks. They're they're putting out Australian tech companies back into the dark ages. They're really going backwards with this stuff, but it's it's really becoming a police state, and I wonder, look, are they really that stupid, or do they really know what they're doing? End of the day, it doesn't matter. Look, the law's here now. You just need to understand your privacy, where that puts you. So yeah, it's sad, mate. It really is sad. I think it's ridiculous, but then again, I guess we're just a test bed for the rest of the world. I mean, they can get away with anything, mate. Nobody challenges, nobody stands up, and then they just push it and they rush it through. Look, these guys are very corrupt. They're very corrupt. So yeah, it's quite sad, mate.
Okay. And I think the second question, which is related to Australia, is how does it feel to be from the same country as Craig S. Wright?
Look, that guy's a disgrace. He's an absolute disgrace to the scene. Sick fuck, right? I met this dude from Holland yesterday, and he was talking like he thought that Craig Wright had a lot of legitimacy, and maybe he did, maybe he didn't. And I had to stop this guy and said, "Yo, snap the fuck out of it. This guy is a first-class scammer." Now, all he sees is Craig Wright and Craig Wright's tangent and the way he goes on about stuff. A lot of people can get sucked into that because Craig Wright blocks everybody that says anything not right about him. He has a lot of trolls. His block list is like probably 50, 80, 100,000 plus long. So for him, when he says something, he has a lot of obviously unstable fans and things like that promote his vision and stuff. Obviously a lot of paid trolls as well. So people do get sucked into that if they obviously follow him. But this guy is he's a disgrace. He's a disgrace. And look, I guess there's a lot of bad people in Australia, and obviously it doesn't represent the whole lot of us. Answer your question?
Oh, a bit. You're much more diplomatic than I expected. So you just slammed Craig Wright, but at the same time you try to defend your national pride, which is a noble cause in itself. And
yeah,
I
look,
appreciate
Australians are awesome. We're awesome guys, Like I go around the world, and then anybody that hears me start talking knows I'm Australian. Hey, high five, what's up? Like everyone's friendly because we're cool people. But when we have some fucking clown like this running around the country, going to China, like talking shit and just making an absolute buffoon of himself, yeah, it doesn't really reflect too good on us if that's someone's first experience of an Australian. So I guess one day, maybe they just need to keep him like out of the space completely. It's sad that he gets so much fucking airtime, but look, it's good. It's good entertainment. I mean, you give that guy a mic and watch some of the shit he dribbles. He'll give you memes for fucking days, mate. So, I understand. I do.
How do you feel about the fact that he said that he has much more money than, I don't want to be wrong about this, but I think the country was, wait, it wasn't Ghana. It was the one, wait, which one was with the genocide?
Yeah, this guy's, we've seen this guy come and say he's Satoshi, he's got all these coins and he created Bitcoin, etc. So this is the same motherfucker that was trying to get in touch with his best friend that died to take his coins from the fucking from the mother. I mean, mate, this guy will say and do anything, but have we ever seen anything from this guy? We've only ever seen him talk shit, and his all his stuff has been debunked in the past. You just can't, anything that comes out of this guy's mouth, you just can't believe. You really can't. So it's it's interesting to me that we're still having this conversation about Craig Wright. Quite simply, he needs to go fuck himself, and the sooner he does, the better.
Yeah, the country was Rwanda, and I'm sorry, I had this factual inaccuracy, and I said Ghana. I don't know.
No, you could make it up, mate. You could tell me it's the moon on the far side of the city on the far side of the moon, and that's the sort of shit this guy comes up with. There's no facts. So whatever you said to me, you could make it up. It's still not a fact because whatever he said, it's fucking bullshit.
But at the same time, maybe I should ask you about Bitcoin Cash SV, Satoshi's vision. which they claim to be the government and the enterprise-friendly version of Bitcoin.
Really? Is that how they're marketing this shit? Wow. Do you know what? Actually, a lot of people in the space ask me about Bitcoin SV or ABC or fuck knows. I can't even keep up with this shit. There's going to be a new one tomorrow. The fact is, it's all bullshit. It's all a distraction. And if you're a noob and you're getting sucked into this, it is a real shame. And, you know, I just want to like reach out to you and let you know that it's all bullshit. It's all fake. It's all nothing. Don't put your money anywhere fucking near it. There is one Bitcoin and there will only ever be one Bitcoin. Simple.
Okay, let's move on from this controversial discussion, which turned out to be
it's not controversial
than I expected.
Yeah, it's definitely not controversial. I mean, it's like this and it's not like that. So what are you telling me? You've interviewed people that believe in Bitcoin SV and ABC? Really?
No, I never interviewed them. I don't think they want to be interviewed, actually. They use their own propaganda because Bitcoin Cash ABC has Bitcoin.com and Bitcoin Cash SV has their own media, and they have CoinGeek, I think, on which they post their press releases and everything that has to do with media and PR. So they don't do interviews. They avoid as much as possible to get exposed, to answer hard questions. They just talk in their echo chambers, and that's what the problem is.
Okay, yeah. So there you go. You know exactly what's going on in the scene. So you know you said it beautifully for everybody. But the sad thing is, a lot of noobs in the space, they get sucked up by this propaganda because they come across one little article or one little interview, and you know before you know it, they're in that echo chamber themselves, and then you know they become like, you know, totally warped on that. And that's where a lot of these you know, obviously low IQ trolls develop. You know, these supporters, fans, I don't know what the real word is for them, shills. There's a better word these days, but I don't know what it is. Anyway, moving on, mate.
But you know, I'm Romanian, and we have some exchanges in this small country, which probably most people don't know how to point on the map. But we do have some Bitcoin exchanges. And I saw a Twitter post by one of them, which is called Beat Mojave. And they they published an article in which they basically promoted Bitcoin Cash SV and said that it's the next big thing just because it had this phenomenal rise, which was obviously a quick pump last week.
Yeah.
And I reached out to them and I said, you know, what you're doing is very wrong. And actually, you're not even selling Bitcoin Cash SV. So what difference does it make? What's the point? And they became very defensive. I guess they got paid for that piece. And they just told me, you know, we got our information from 5 different sources. So how can you actually compete with 5 different sources?
Sadly, I'm going to give you a pro tip, mate. You just can't engage with these people. You're just going to, it's like butting your head against the wall. You're never going to get through. None of it is ever going to make sense. And you're just going to, waste your time. So when you see that stuff, as sad as it is, the smartest thing to do is just to, you know, sadly walk on and, you know, watch them fuck up their lives.
I guess it's a good time to cheer up and play a little game, which is called What's the Shape of This Chart? Which implies that we take a look at trading view for the BTC USD graphs, and then take a look at the different graphs and I ask you what the shape of it looks like. It's some sort of Freudian exercise, you know, when the psychiatrist shows you some kind of stains, cards with stains, and you have to make something out of them with your imagination. So,
all right, I'm excited, mate.
On the Bitfinex chart for the 1-day graph, what do you think this looks like?
All right, show me, Doc.
Do I send you a link? I'm not sure how I'm going to edit this, but we have a chat window.
Probably would have thought of that before we started this, but I'll leave it to you, mate.
I think I'm going to edit this and add the images separately, so I take screenshots right now.
Here we go. I got something in my chat.
Oh, yeah.
Click that.
Click it.
I guess you could do it. Yeah. Oh, malicious link. What's happening to my computer, mate?
What?
Just fucking with me, brother. All right, I'm looking at. I've already got the Bitfinex chart up, mate. So what day? I'm looking at it in what time frame? Sorry, can you give me? Give me that information.
So on the 1-day graph on Bitfinex.
Yeah. Okay, the 1-day graph on Bitfinex, and over what time frame? So from about, I'll say, February last year. What am I looking at? I see Moon, Moon, Lambo, Chopper, Yacht, oh shit, fuck yeah, Island, wow, okay, shit, fuck, Island, Moon, wrecked, fuck, RP, brother. That's what I'm looking at. Like, I guess that sums it up. Does that make sense? That makes perfect sense to me. That makes perfect
Oh yeah,
sense
but
to me.
what about the entire shape? Does it look like a dinosaur or something?
I just told you what it looks like. It looks like Lambos, Moons, Islands, fucking yachts, choppers, and then it looks fucked. But now it's like, all right, today it's looking like, yes, but all right, we're gonna start to get some action with some volume. I'm getting excited. So I don't know. I mean, if anybody says that looks like a fucking dinosaur, I think they need to get checked out, man. I mean, yeah, I mean, we need to see someone about that, because that doesn't look like a fucking dinosaur. It doesn't look like anything else I've seen.
Okay. I believe your vision on reality, which is much more sane than Satoshi's vision.
Satoshi's vision. We'll show you Satoshi's vision. Next bull market, we'll show you Satoshi's vision. Everyone's going to see Satoshi's true vision. And that's,
Do you
that's a
think
bull market.
this next bull market is coming anytime soon, or do you think it will coincide with the launch of a more mainstream and friendly version of the Lightning Network?
No one gives a shit about Lightning Network. You sound like you're my demons, mate. I get a lot of these questions, like, it just fucking non-stop floods through every day. You know, how long do you think this bear market will last? Like, when's it, do you think it could be soon we have a bull?
Oh,
the thing is, mate, like,
you mentioned it. I wasn't about to ask you, but then you said, well, just wait until the next bull run to see Satoshi's vision. Okay.
Legitimate question. I think that we are presented with a very unique buying opportunity for Bitcoin right now. And I think, look, I don't know where the bottom is. All I know is that we are being presented with a unique opportunity. So even if we do break under 3K and we pay a visit to the upper twos, the upper thousands, God forbid, that's a very, very unique opportunity. Now, I know there's a lot of great things happening for the Bitcoin ecosystem. We obviously have a lot of new exchanges coming on board. We have a lot of access for these noobs to be able to just quickly click, verified, bam, buy Bitcoin, buy crypto. And I think that's going to be, pretty spooky for the next bear market. Next bull market, when, a lot of the world is opened up to crypto, and normies are like, it's so easy for them to just go click, buy some of this shit. That's, it's going to get interesting. So I really feel like whatever's happening over the next 6 months, a year, 2 years, it's just going to be accumulation, mate, because eventually we're going to have access for everyday normies, the click of a button, and these fuckers are going to buy it. They're going to pump it. They're going to keep buying it. They're going to dump their fucking wages into it. Every week there'll be subscription services. You'll be able to allocate $100 a week of your wage to Bitcoin. It's going to the moon. It's going to the moon, or it's going to zero. And I'm going to put my money on the fucking moon.
Okay. So I see that you're very active on Twitter. And at some point, a couple of months ago, you mentioned that you're going to sell your account to somebody else. And how can I be sure that you're the same person, or that you're the person behind the account? Did any of your views change in the meantime?
Look, obviously, it's me. I'm here. I'm not a clone or a fucking robot. But yeah, there was obviously a group of people that wanted to buy the account. They bought it for 657 BTC. I've been trying to get it back since. I obviously still have in touch with my Periscope. I obviously own my Bitcoin. Not my Bitcoin, my Instagram handles. But yeah, that's it, mate. I'm trying to get it back as we speak. So these guys are playing hardball. Thing is, it works out for me that Bitcoin's half price now. So I wonder what the account's going for now. And on that note, I know there's quite a few other guys that sold their account or are still looking to sell their account. So you just got to be smart about this stuff, mate. You'll be really smart.
Do you think that Kevin Pham has also sold his account because right now he supports Satoshi's vision?
Yeah, possibly. I think that's very likely. Obviously, people need money in these bear markets, and when you get an offer for a couple $100 for your account, maybe some of these people take it because no legitimate person would sell their account to push this Bitcoin SBC fucking whatever it is. So it's unfortunate that we've seen Kevin go down that path. God bless him.
So who do you recommend to follow on Twitter just to get funny jokes, interesting insights, maybe some technical analysis on what's going on with the price, and maybe some news regarding crypto?
Yeah, look, I mean, pretty much I've got a pretty cool feed. So when I go to Twitter, I get everything. I get the shit posting, I get the memes, I get a bit of TA, I get a bit of trolling, a lot of humor, a lot of laughs, a bit of information, a bit of like the latest bullshit headlines. I've got it all. So look, if you pretty much follow like who I'm following, you get a good dose of everything. I like the way that my information comes through. I'm very choosy about what it is that I want to see. I know what I follow someone. I might follow someone because they're really dumb, but they're providing me some insight. Or they're really smart and they just post TA, and it's like instead of having to always like log on to TradingView or have a million apps on my phone like showing me the shit, it's like if this guy's going to post something once or twice a day or once or twice a week or something like this, enough of an update. Is there like a list or something that I could give you to recommend these people? There's probably plenty out there, but I don't particularly have one. Just the guys that I follow. I've got a good spread.
How did you come up with the character, the Sir BitLord?
That's a really good question. I don't think anybody's ever asked me that.
I mean, you have that creepy dog, and up to this point, before doing my research for this interview, and I've actually watched some other interviews with you, I had no idea you actually show up your face. I thought you were just like all the others, like Randy Marsh and what's the other guy?
Yeah. I don't know. No. It's no. I've always sort of. I mean, I guess back in the early days, I wasn't really showing my face a lot. I did go for a stage where I put like a photo of myself up, and I thought, nah, that's gay. I would have changed it to back to the cat. Yeah, it's actually a cat. It's not a dog. I don't know how you thought that was a cat. That's a dog. I mean, that's a fucking cat, not a dog. Cats rule the internet. There's no way I would have a dog as my profile picture. Even though I love dogs and dogs love me, that is a cat. That is a tattooed cat in a motherfucking tuxedo.
Okay.
So yeah. I came up with the name because I learned something about Bitcoin that, obviously a Bitcoin is made up of many, many, many bits. And then it wasn't just Bitcoin. It's like, that it flows through everything in life. Like, everything's connected. There's like, bits of everything. And I thought, I always thought that, if you have all these bits or you control these bits and you know what's going on in these bits, then that'd be pretty cool. So I just sort of made up the name. It just popped into my head like magically. I thought BitLord, it's sort of like BitLord, like, everything's bit. So you must be pretty fucking good at it. Yeah, that's how I came up. Did I lose you, mate?
Yeah, I lost you for like 5 seconds.
Oh, I'm back.
You're back.
No, it must have been. Yeah, it must have been a connection. Did you lose? Did you need me to repeat anything?
What's the question?
Did you need me to repeat anything?
Oh, I don't think so. You were explaining how you came up with it, and you said that you had all these bits and you needed something imposing, like a lord, to master them. But why was it a lord and not maybe a duke?
I'm pretty sure like a duke is like average shit, man. I mean, no one like a duke's like a normie, I guess, isn't it? I'm not up to date with the folklore, but sounds like it. Fuck, no one wants to be a duke. Duke, that sounds gay.
Okay. As far as I know, you have the lords, and I think the dukes are more scarce. There's fewer of them. Let me check.
Are you Googling that?
And you
Yeah,
also have the earls. So a duke is a senior to a marquis or a marquess, who is a senior to an earl, who is a senior to a baron.
yeah.
They are all lords. So okay, the duke is the highest kind of lord. Okay, so you can be any type of lord. You can be a duke, you can be an earl, or you can be a baron.
Me, fucking BitLord. There we go. There we go.
So do you have any specific story about that cat and why you chose it?
That's a magical cat. That cat is the baddest cat on the internet. You do not fuck with that cat. So simple. Very hard to find this cat on the internet. Like there's been imitations, there's been all sorts of bullshit out there, but it is very hard to find this cat. It is. So obviously this cat is tattooed. It's a pretty serious looking character. He's in a tuxedo, you know, professional. Looks pretty fucking dangerous. You just don't want to mess with that cat. So that's what I'm saying, man. Like it's hard to find cat. You know, just don't mess with the cat.
Yeah, it looks imposing. So when you deal with this cat, you know you're into shit. You don't want to argue
Hey,
too much.
it looks pretty friendly. Like just serious, you know, serious. Look, it took me a long time to find this creature, and when I found it, I was actually quite impressed the way I came across it because it's it was going to be pretty hard for somebody else to find it as well. And there was a very good chance that nobody in the world was using this as an avatar, and nobody would. So I took it upon myself that, you know, I adopted the cat. We became really good friends. And yeah, he's a cool guy. But, you know, I've seen a few people like try to use it here and there. And I'm like, yo, motherfucker, what are you doing? So, you know, that's my online presence now. I don't think I'll ever use a profile picture because the cat's like fucking iconic.
Oh yeah, it's part of your brand, I guess. And speaking of brands, I see that you're mentioning in your description that you build brands, businesses, and services. So tell me more about
Yes.
that.
Okay. So the brand that I built a couple of years ago, years and years ago, it was a food manufacturing thing. I built a pretty cool brand. I was just starting to like get to practice. Like it was my first opportunity to build a really good brand and connect with an audience and go ahead and do that. And I loved it. I really, really loved it because I like selling stuff and I like sort of creating things and I like to do things the best of the best. So, you know, if I'm making a chip, for example, I want the best chip on the planet. I don't want to just make some average standard chip that, you know, anybody can make or something that doesn't taste right. It needs to be the best of the best because I'm making that and I want to eat the best of the best chip. I get frustrated. There's not a lot of good chips in the world. So I obviously went from there and then I went into crypto and it was more like, you know, everyone just sort of stays low and just off the grid sort of thing. And let's not really get out and do too much. And then the past couple of years I've been trying to step out more and be more sort of like just just being like more of a normal person and actually like, you know, fuck it, you know, let's put our faces out, let's have some fun, let's, you know, do some things. So I wanted to create a new brand, not exactly crypto. It's a nutraceutical company, and it's like one of the latest things that right now is nootropics. And one of the next best big things is going to be neural hacking. So what I'm doing is I'm creating one of the first really, really good brands in that space. It's taking a lot, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of research and just compiling everything, getting it all together to, you know, to create a really good nutraceutical brand, which I don't think anybody's doing exceptionally well right now either. So that's the whole thing behind the brands. Also, there's a startup that I'm working on called, it was called G Trader Pro. Basically a trading competition where, you know, people connect their accounts to BitMEX. Everybody, you know, buys in for registration. You know, the person with the highest ROI wins the pot. That was the idea behind G Trader Pro. Doesn't ring, doesn't feel right. So we rebranded that to Whale Wars. Fucking perfect. Makes sense. Everybody's going to get on board with that. So we're just going through the rebrand now. And hopefully we can launch it this month. I mean, look, we were supposed to launch the rebrand a couple months ago. We've been dragging our feet, to be honest. So that's the next thing. And then I feel like, you know, into 2019, I'm going to more sort of I'm going to focus a lot on my actual personal brand, what it is that I'm about, sort of give people a bit more of me, which I've never really done. So, I'm working on, and again, I've built this thing, what feels like last year, this website. I'm going to launch it maybe this month. But yeah, it's all about, a lot of this stuff, it's all about branding. And, I feel that the core of branding is just really showing something, for what it is. I mean, if it's the best, show us. Why is it the best? How is it the best? Give us the statistics, and really sort of making the product shine through. So that's what I'm doing regarding the brands, services. It has a bit to do with branding as well. So I'm working on this thing. Let's call it a manual. It's the manual that you need for crypto. The manual that when you're getting into crypto, it's so hard to find information. It's like, you want to learn about something. There's just so much misinformation out there. So many different pathways that can really lead you astray. So what we wanted to create was the crypto cookbook, somewhere that you go. It has a absolute comprehensive information manual. So you can learn everything about crypto all in one spot. You can learn, market psychology, trading, risk management, a lot of the history, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Just comprehensive. So a great introduction to new people coming into the space. So that's another thing regarding branding. A bit of services as well. We're trying to provide an educational service here. So that's brands, services, and that sort of covers the business spectrum as well, because obviously we're creating these things as standalone businesses. So it's seems like the next real fun thing for me will be that for probably a good part of the next 5 years.
So do you think that if you never got into Bitcoin in 2012, you'd still be just as involved in these projects or had the same aspirations?
Definitely not. I mean, if I didn't get, I'm just doing like an Instagram story. Yeah, look, if I didn't get into Bitcoin back in 2012, then I would not be where I am today, trying these new things, having an open mind to, different things that you can do and you can achieve. So, Bitcoin was essential to, where I'm at today.
So let's imagine that you're 16 or 18 right now, and you're just discovering Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. What would you work on, and what would you invest in, and what would you feel excited about?
Look, if you're just coming into the space now and you're a youngin, you need to be very smart. Look, everybody coming into space needs to be very smart, but don't get distracted by all of this entertainment. This thing it's entertainment. There's so much fun to be had. I mean, you can, these kids these days are very good at the internet. They start wasting a lot of time on games and memes and like just fucking around, like browsing dumb shit. You have such an opportunity coming into this space as like a 16-year-old, because if you apply yourself to a specific field and you really absorb that information and apply it somewhere, you're going to do great things, because there's so much opportunity. So don't waste your time. Really, there are so many opportunities. If you're smart and dedicated and want to push yourself, it is so easy to jump along with a startup or some sort of organization, as whatever it may be. To go ahead and further and develop your skills. A lot of kids waste time on fucking video games these days. And it's like, man, if you're aware of crypto and you're not like actively, researching, studying, or like learning from the space, shit, that's cool. Go and finish school. Go and finish school and then go to university. And I'm going to say right now, it's pretty much a dead end. In my opinion. Look, schools these days, they teach basic shit, a lot of shit that we don't need to know. They don't teach you how to think for yourself. They teach you what to think, so then you can go ahead and obviously apply that like a fucking robot. But the thing is, if you're smart enough and you have enough drive, you don't need to be in school, but you need to be very disciplined. You need to be very strict, and don't waste any fucking time. So that's what I have to say.
So what is your background in terms of formal education? Did you finish high school or university?
Yeah, I actually finished high school. So I went to school in a country town for a long time, and it was wild. We used to have like fucking riots there, mate. It was insane. There was a lot of crazy shit going down. Really, really great place. I loved it. And then I came down here in the southern part of Australia, and I went to a really nice private school, which was a huge shock to me. I finished year 11 and 12 there. And then I had the option, look, do I want to go to university? To be honest, I was too dumb to go to university. It was never really me. Or I could get involved in the oil and gas industry. First year apprentice, earning more than most people would in their jobs. And I'm getting paid to learn, and I'm going to come out fucking massive cash. Well, makes sense to me. Why the fuck would I go to university? So I became an apprentice. I was an apprentice boilermaker, coated welder. Came out of that. I was very good at what I did. And then I got bored because there wasn't a lot of work. I got bored and I was very good, so I needed distraction. So yeah, I started taking drugs and shit. That was a really big mistake. It offset me for a long time. And then I got back on my feet and I started working on ROVs, robotic operated vehicles. I became started studying environmental management systems, and there was another field as well. I can't remember what it was, but things are going fantastic. And then that's when I moved away from that into crypto. So that it was about when I started getting really, really good at that. A little bit bored, a little bit constricted in the organization I was. A lot of fucking politics. Obviously, I was a very young guy, and it's very hard to, you've always got some older guy that's like standing in the way or something like that. I fucking hated it. It's like, look, if you're good enough, you should get the opportunity. I didn't. And also, the long-term health effects of the industry. I quit, and then I moved to crypto and never looked back. So that's a bit about my background.
That's actually fascinating. And at the same time, the ventures that you're exploring right now are not strictly crypto. I remember speaking with crypto guy Nye earlier this week, or I think he calls himself Crypto Shill Nye sometimes. It depends. But he started a marketing team or company. And I guess it's the natural evolution. If you become influential on Twitter or in any kind of social media regarding anything, it makes sense to provide consultancy.
Oh, yeah.
And provide your expertise in the field and just do PR and media and stuff like that, just because you're popular and you have a big following and you know how to handle these large amounts of people. But instead, as far as I can see, you have like 88,000 followers on Twitter. So I guess you could do the same, but you have different divergent interests. You're actually pursuing your own passions and you're
Well,
not
that's
following.
that's like if if I'm gay, I'll try to fuck guys, but I'm not. It's like it all depends like what you want to do. I don't want to do that. So could I do it? Of course, and I'm very good at it. I'm actually working on this is not crypto related at all. I actually advise for people, to help grow their Twitter accounts, what they need to do for their PR, the whole business spectrum behind that. And it's funny because I look at that. Do I want to do that full time? No. I want to set that up. I want to automate that as a business so it's running for me. I don't want to be doing that as my thing. It's like, I want someone else to be doing that for me. So that's what I'm in the process of setting up now. So I'll be running social media for, a number of, local places here. And then I'll go ahead and I'll use that data to, for the revenue, etc. And I'll go ahead and contact online businesses and just scale it just like that. So, that's that. I look at that model and I'm like, do I want to do that? Yeah. And I want someone else to do it for me because it's not my interest. Can it pay enough? No. I mean, look, if you want to make some real money through influencing, you need to be business minded. It's a fact. I mean, you can make an absolute fucking killing, but you need to automate things and you need to be very efficient on how you do it. But I'd say that, looking at the crypto market, there'd be some decent money in that, but that's what it comes down to. It's like doing what you enjoy. It's so important to do what you enjoy. I mean, you can't pay me enough to suck dick. So, that's what I'm saying. It all comes down to what you enjoy and how much you want to get paid to do something. So, and look, you can literally, I mean, if you're watching or reading this right now, it's that simple. Like, get your passion, what you like, start working on it, start developing it, start researching it, start pursuing it, because there's money there. If you're passionate about something, there's always money there. So it's that simple, guys. And you can look at things like, guys that have managed to come up from absolutely nothing to very successful. All they really did was pursue their passion and what they're good at. So that's that's my thoughts on it.
That was actually so good and influential that I don't want to ruin it by asking anything else. So that's like the perfect ending that you can have to any interview. You just summed up some very important points, which I guess anyone from any field, regardless of their opinion on crypto, should be watching and listening. So thank you very much, BitLord. I'm not sure if that's what you like to be called, but I will call you BitLord because that's your Twitter name. And I hope that I'll be interviewing you again when that website of yours gets launched, so I can ask you more specific questions about what you're planning, and maybe that cryptocurrency guide that you mentioned, that also seems interesting, and I can write about it because that's my main job.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be, look, there's going to be three of them. There's going to be the Whale Wars once that's rebranded. There's going to be this nutraceutical company. That should be this month. And then we have my own personal page, which, look, it's pretty much ready to go. I've already got a few articles and stuff ready to drop in it and start it going. But it's just, I don't know, sometimes I just go away from like, not now, focus on this, and hesitate on the finishing touches. It's another thing. You're really going to stay focused, working on so many things. It's so easy to get distracted and then, push things back because, something gets in the way and you've got to like remanage and organize, across the spectrum. And yeah, the next one should be this, will be this crypto cookbook. That should be second quarter 2019.
Okay, I look forward to that, and I'm happy we talked. This was a great interview, especially in the
Me too,
second
mate.
part, once we moved on past Craig Wright.
Yeah, look, I enjoy these things, mate. I really do. You're an awesome guy. I had fun here, mate. I like talking about this stuff. It's good to get out there and yeah, sort of like tell a bit of a story and hopefully help people and point them in the right direction at the end of the day. So thanks very much, man. I really do appreciate it.
Okay, I'll see you again in another interview. Bye.
Sure will, mate.